Hi there and welcome to Stamping in the Barnyard. My name is Bethany Barnard and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I've been bringing a series of 12 weeks of whimsical Christmas projects to you, and this is week 11 and I'm excited about this project. It's a cake topper. And I think when I came up with the name of Whimsical Christmas Projects, this was the project I had in mind. And you'll see that no matter which way I hold this on the cake, it is still gonna say Merry Christmas. I got this idea when I went to the store and I picked up a happy birthday cake topper and realized how easy it would be for me to make something similar and a little bit cuter using our Alphabet stamp set with this coordinating punch. Now I have a lot of stamp sets that are alphabets with different sizes of the letters, different fonts, but all of the others need to be cut out, die cut, and a punch is so much quicker. And that's why this is my go-to quick way to use the alphabet and personalize things. I'm really excited about my son who just made Captain with an air service as a pilot, and the idea of him coming home for Christmas or around Christmas time. He probably won't get Christmas off, but I can make a little cake and have it say, "Welcome home, Captain Dan." I also have a daughter who's a week overdue with a baby, and it'll be fun to bring her something that says, "Welcome, baby," or even better, we don't know if she's having a boy or a girl, but once we know, it can say welcome and then the baby's name. So I just love the ability to personalize with the Alphabet stamp set. And I hope you'll enjoy this idea. It's very inexpensive and it's really easy. And once you've made the strings of something like Happy Birthday or Merry Christmas, you can reuse this by keeping those strings and then just redoing them on a straw once you've put these inside of a cake. Now, you may be more comfortable or like the idea of sticking them inside, say, a piece of cheese or a piece of fruit or anything that will hold up the straws, and just having them about your buffet table when you have a Christmas party. And you've got so many options. You can say, "Believe," "Ho, ho, ho," any kind of fun idea for a Christmas table or any other occasion. So let's get started so I can show you how to make this. So I'm going to move this away and I'm going to bring down a piece of grid paper. We've got a little bit of stamping to do. I did a lot ahead of time, but I wanted to at least show you some tips on how to make these quickly, and also let you know that at the end of this video I may have a couple more tips of things that you can do, or I may end up getting them all talked about as we go along. But anyway, what you need to do, this is about 1.25 inches. Well, actually it's 2.5 inches, but I scored it right down the middle, making it 1.25 inches. And the reason I did that is because I need to be able to punch this out, but you need to bring the punch just above the score line. So I'm going to punch that, and you'll see that now it opens up to, there's a fold, and then there's 2 of these punches. And that's because you're going to see that we're going to punch letters on them. Not punch letters on them. Well, we are going to punch out letters and put them on here. Because what you want to do is now, for Merry Christmas, you need 5, 10, 14. You're going to need 14 of these to spell out Merry Christmas on both sides. So you would just want to come down here and go ahead and do 14, just blank pieces like this. And then you would take, now what I've done, and I've set this all up for Mary. Now obviously Mary has 2 R's, and there are not 2 R's in the Alphabet stamp set. So what I do is I take, in this case I use Poppy Parade. I thought that was the closest to the red in the straws. I love that Stampin' Up! Has so many options of reds and greens and pinks and blues. Anyway, so you would come in here and you would stamp Mary, And then afterwards, and you would stamp this twice because you're going to need it on both sides of your little flags. And then you would have to separately do some more R's, or 2 more R's for both of your Marys. But this is just me showing you how to do this quickly. And if you put all of the letters on here, but you want them close enough. So this is just a scrap of white that I had, but you want something that you can just come down and put it in the punch and be able to punch it off. So now I've done the MERY, and then I'm using the garden green here because that's what I used on my Christmas trees. And then you can just come in and surround the letters and try to center them. It's a little harder for me because I have it away from you, trying to keep it on the camera, but you get the idea. Then you can come in and you would punch out the M, or each of your letters, and the E. And so this is where you need to have a pair of scissors easily accessible to you, because, and I'm realizing I know what I'm going to do though. So because after each one, in order to use this punch well, you're going to cut it off after each letter you punch, because you have to have the letters spaced far enough away that you can do this. So then you would cut again, and I'm going to punch out this R, and I needed the M and the R because I'm going to show you how this is done. And then you would keep going with the whole Merry Christmas to where you have both. But here's this blank one that we made earlier. And I have over here all of the letters and how they would match up. And if you have, you're going to need an R and an M, because it just works out that way. And I am going to put out all the letters here so you can see what letters go with which letters, so that it reads Merry Christmas on both sides. I hope that makes sense. So once you've done that, and this helps you to get the letters exactly how you would like them for the project, and you just take and you put your glue on both sides here. And then, as I said, I happen to know that an R goes here. Slide that on. And the M would go on the other side, upside down, right? Because when you fold it down, you'll see how that's going to work, because I'm going to be using this one in a little bit. But see, now that you've got those letters both on, you can see that you can fold it down like this. And you've got both letters on both sides. So that's how you're going to get all your letters done and get them done quickly. So you're going to punch out the blank whites first, and then you're going to punch out the letters that you need, and then you're going to cut them, punch them, and stick them on. So that's really a pretty quick process. So I'm going to move these over here, and I'm going to bring out so that you can see, and I'll put these in the description below, what letters need to be on the opposite side. Christmas. I need a T here. Christmas. M-A-S. And you can see it reads Christmas this way, if you can read upside down, and this way. And then the same with Mary. So I have M, which goes with a Y, E, R, R, Y. And then you can see that this reads Mary in both directions. So these are what I've done in advance, but it also will tell you which letters go with which opposite letter goes with the front letter, if that makes sense. So you can see them here, and I will, because you see Christmas starts this way, and when you flip it over, that's what makes it work. So you're going to use 2 pieces of string for each of these. All right, so I'm going to move these now and show you how we're going to set up the string to work. And you're going to need glue dots, or glue dots are the easiest thing. And we'll get this made, M-A-S. I'm just clearing these away, M-E-R-R-Y. Okay, so on this one, I've decided I'm going to use the polka dotted straws because I used the red and white striped ones on the first example, and I thought I would try these. So what you need to do is, with a ruler, and I've used a Sharpie pen, or I will be using a Sharpie pen, you are going to measure down, whoa, they do roll, measure down 1/2 inch. So you're going to take your straw and you're going to measure where 1/2 inch is, and that's right here. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other straw. When they roll away, you forget where they've gone. So on here, and I could lay this down. That would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Okay, so on here at 1/2 inch, I'm going to make a mark. And then you're going to do the same thing at 1.5 inch. And you want them pretty much in line. So there are my marks for 1/2 inch and 1.5 inch. And now on this one, I only have the 1/2 inch. So I'm going to add the 1.5 here. And that's marks so that they are pretty much even across the way. So next will be to get our strings. And so I've used our baker's twine, and I've used just the white, but you know, we have baker's twine in all sorts of colors. And then I have this sort of embroidery needle, but you want one with a big enough hole in the end of it to be able to take this baker's twine. And you're gonna want, you know, I don't know, I probably should give you a measurement. You would like that, wouldn't you? So, because you can always trim it. So I would say go ahead and do a foot, do 15 inches, right? And 15 inches would be, here's my ruler, I don't know why I'm not using that. Oh, that's gonna be plenty. Let's see, 12, I didn't measure when I did mine. Does that surprise you? 12 and another 3 would be 15, and it doesn't have to be exact. You'll see why as we do it. But let's just say 2 that are 15 inches. And really the second one doesn't have to be 15 inches for sure, but we're gonna just do that. So I have 2 pieces of twine here at 15 inches. And then you're going to thread the needle. Fortunately, it's got a fairly big hole to be able to do that. And I should have like glued the end or something to get this to go in. You know what? If I was really smart, and I'm realizing I did this with the last one, I had a threader. But since I don't have one and we're on camera and I'm this far into it, I'm gonna keep going here and hope that I get this through. And I did, yay. All right, so what you wanna do is take your straw, and we're gonna do the bottom one first, which would be the one that's at 1.5 inches. And you're gonna poke the needle through right at that point. And then you're gonna, now these are pretty sturdy straws. They're plastic with, maybe a little waxy. I mean, they're paper with a little bit of wax going on them, I think. So, and then you can just, I'd like to do a double knot, but what you don't want is for it to come back through that hole, which it's not likely to, even with a single knot, but a double knot just makes that for sure. And then I'm going to trim it just above. There you go. And that's going to be my bottom string. And then we're going to do it again with the top string. Hoping that I can get this threaded a bit quicker than I did the last one, but I think I will actually. Oh, I spoke too soon. Nope, I think that worked. Okay. And so now I'm going to take it right above at that 1/2 inch. Just stick the needle in. You can see that I'm having trouble getting it in there. You don't want to go through the other side. You want it to come up through the top, but it's not that difficult. And so then once it's through, you're really just going to do that same thing, that double knot on both sides. And the 15 inches really gives you room to work with, so you're not trying to deal with, you know, pieces that are too short for you. So again, I'll trim this like that. Okay. And then you can pull that through. So there you have 2 strings like that. Now we're gonna work on these and put the letters on, and then we'll do the same thing through the other side. So as you saw, I already have the Merry Christmas already punched and stamped over here. So I am going to go ahead and put them on. And the easiest way to do this really is with our mini glue dots. So I'm gonna get those out and start with the C for Christmas. And literally, I am just going to put 1 glue dot on the bottom of each of these. And you want them on the bottom because you're going to wrap it around here. And then you'll see that when you put them at the bottom like this, then you can move the letters to where you want them. And that's what we'll be able to do at the end. But right now, I just want to get them on in order. So I maybe should have had one that was almost already done, but now you can just watch me get these all on here. So I always put it doesn't really matter, but I always put it on the next letter, like the next letter after the C for Christmas is H. So I put them on the bottom of the H, and then I put it across, close it. But you can see how quick this goes. C-H-R, which is the R and the M. Make sure you're staying on the same line. And you got, and see, I can even do it way over here, whichever is easiest for you to get it on, because you can always slide it to where you want it. C-H-R-I would be pretty, well, even if you get this wrong, you can just, the order, like to spell something out, it would be so easy to correct it by either, you know, taking them, you wouldn't want to take them off, but you could cut one off and just make a new one pretty quickly. C-H-R-I-S, C-H-R-I, C-H-R-I-S. Look at the S's are together. Just the way it worked out for Christmas. Must be the middle letter in that word, which I think it is. Okay, because there's 9 letters and it's the 5th. C-H-R-I-S-T. I have a Christmas party at my house Monday night. I'm hoping this grandbaby comes before then or after then, but not on the day. I was asking my other daughter, do you think your sister will be upset if I have to give a party the day she has a baby? But you know, you can't plan when a baby's gonna come. They do that on their own. Okay, C-H-R-I-S-T-M, A, you see how easily these go on? A, And now S. So there are two S's. You want to make sure that the middle one is the double S and that the last one is the S with the C on the other side. But see how you can see that that's all come out? And now we can take this. Now what I like to do is I slide all the letters over to the left so that I have more room to do the needle and thread on the opposite side. So I'm going to slide these all over, and then we'll space them out to be in the center when we finish that part up. So I'm going to go back to threading this. There we go. And then the other needle, and remember you're going to have to go down to the 1.5 mark first, which is right here. This isn't really an embroidery needle. Well, it may really be an embroidery needle, but I know I just got it in a pack of needles that I found in my never so very much drawer. Okay, so the advantage you have at this point is when you do your knot, it's going to be above this, and either way you're going to get another 1.5 inches as you pull this down and the knot goes to that hole. But I am going, and since Christmas, you're not going to want it, this is the biggest word, so you know that it fits like that, but you want it to hang a little bit looser. So you just kind of eyeball it. Doesn't matter too much. But I'm going to put my knot here and my knot here. If I don't like it, if it's too, whoops, that didn't work. So you know what I am going to do, because you do want it to go down enough to stop it. I want it to, the knot to be on top of another knot. So I'm going to take this knot here. That first one I did, this one came up too high, and I'm going to pull it so that still didn't work. Boy, I had luck the first time, didn't I? Doesn't matter really, because the two knots are going to be one after the other. Usually, even if it falls through one, it's not going to fall through the second one. But there we go. Now we got a nice big knot. There's no way that's going to come through. And then you can cut it off above that. And then you'll see, you can pull that down, and yeah, you've got a really nice little, in fact, I almost think I might like it a little shorter, I think I will make it a little shorter. Can I do that now? It might be too late, or at least too late while I'm fussing on here. I was afraid of not having enough in there. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it. It's gonna work. It'll be fine. In fact, I wonder how it compares. It's almost the same. So that works, because you do want them to show in between the trees. All right, so now we're gonna do the Mary. And you can see, you can even fast forward, because this part you pretty much get. When you put these letters on, you will kind of like making sure that they're going in the right direction for what you need. All right, Mary M. I'm going to put all these on and then do it. E. R. And some of these I probably am putting up too high. You really do want it on the bottom. R. And then our last one, Y. And then we can do on here, M. E. want to make sure you're doing the R-M-E. Did I just mess up? I might have, after I told you to make sure. Oh no, there's an R here. Yeah, see, this is wrong. M-E-R, this should have been our R-R. So I'm going to see if I can save this one, and if not, we'll make it work with a replacement that I have over here. That's going to work. Okay, so make sure you don't do that. You want M-E-R-R is the first R. M-E-R. I'm going to do another glue dot just in case I ruined that one. And we'll put this on R, R, and Y. But how fun is that, right? Merry Christmas. So now I need to make this a little bit shorter than that's the advantage of having your top word be a little bit smaller, because I'm going to want this to be a little bit shorter so that it kind of dangles and this dangles, but it stays above it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so thread the needle again. See, I just had trouble that one time. It's really pretty easy to thread. And then up in the 1/2 inch. Pull it through, take it down, and even, yeah, like this is gonna work because I'm gonna be able to move those letters around. So, and this one's so close to that 1/2 inch. A 1/2 inch is not gonna make a difference. So if you like where it is, you can just tie that knot right at the top of the straw. That makes it easy too for measuring. And I haven't really, I know I didn't measure the first one I made. I'm trying to be more particular for you by measuring out that 15 inches, but you can see I've cut off. But it gives you a lot, it's easy to tie because you have so much. And this baker's twine is really so reasonably priced. Okay, so now that's gonna come through. And now you just wanna kind of center the letters. So we're going to move the C, sorry, the S, it's the C on the other side. So you just want to get these all, this is the beauty of being able to move them by putting that glue dot on the bottom. But you want them centered, so I'm going to move that a little bit more. I suppose I could use my grid paper if you're that, I'm a middle child. So I love grid paper for some things, but I eyeball an awful lot, and I am eyeballing this. And I'm happy with the placement of Christmas. So now I just have to do the Merry. And you want to make sure these are on the right side. And there we go. Now gravity will help you to have these letters spell out the word rather than flip over to the other letter. That's not going to happen really once you get them all set up. So there we have it. Merry Christmas. See? And then when I turn it around, it still says Merry Christmas. Isn't that so cool? All right, so yeah, I'm not OCD, but sometimes I do move them a little bit even afterwards. But that's the beauty, you can. Over and over again. Okay, so this is so fun, right? Now, this was my original one, was just blank straws like that. I think the one I bought at the store that had Happy Birthday just had some flags sticking out at the tops, just very, very simple little color, like red flags or something. But how fun is it with our stamps and what we can do with them? Now, ideally, I think these trees are not symmetrical. You'll see that if I put this one on top like this, it's close, but it's not exact, but it works well enough for this project. So we are going to now decorate it with these trees because I think this is really what makes them stand out and be so pretty. So I'm gonna take my, you all know I love my liquid glue. And I'm telling you, the liquid glue really is the stronger glue. I would not use, you could maybe do glue dots all the way down. But yeah, my favorite for ease, this lets you move it a little bit if you want. You're gonna want it to be, yeah, I like that. The star's like just above the top. Actually, I think I'm gonna slide it down just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I like to think these are like sort of half, I don't know, it doesn't make sense what I'm trying to tell you, so I'm not gonna even bother. Well, I'll try. I'm trying to make sure that where the string's coming out is like halfway, again, eyeballing it between the opposite side of the straw, just so that these are somewhat centered. And then let me see, what did I do over here on this one? Yeah, the star is right about there, so that works. And the neat thing about this is once you have these and you move it over this way, right, they've got the flat surface, so they're gonna glue on pretty well with that. So now you just do the same thing with the opposite side. And I like to try and match up the stars especially. That's pretty good. And then the bottom. Now, if you have symmetrical die cuts or whatever that you're gonna put on, that really doesn't matter, but I feel like these trees work really well for this. Even though they're not exactly symmetrical, it looks like snow if you see some of the white peeking out, because these all have snow on them anyway, between each layer and around the sides. Well, I think of it as snow. And so if some of the white from the back of the other tree shows, to me it's kind of just like, but see how I can kind of make this a little more lined up. Okay, so now I've had that on that side, so I'm pretty happy with how well that's glued. And now here we go with this. And this. Now I have a picture of a plain topper without the Christmas trees that I'm gonna put up initially in a cake, but I hope to get a different thumbnail up of how this looks inside a cake, just a homemade cake. But there you have it, 2 Merry Christmas cake toppers. Easy and fun, and the alphabet with the coordinating punch just makes that so easy and so personal. And also you can use this for so many other projects. If you look at last year's 12 Weeks to a Wow Christmas series that I put up, that should be found on Stamping in the Barnyard, that's another stamp set, the alphabet with this coordinating punch, that I used quite a bit. So I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next week.